Njorðr, or Njord, stands as one of the more enigmatic figures in Norse mythology, ancient, powerful, yet often understated. He belongs to the Vanir, a tribe of gods associated with fertility, prosperity, peace, and the natural forces of the world, particularly those tied to the sea. Unlike the more war-centered Asir, the Vanir embody balance, abundance, and the sustaining rhythms of life. As a deity, Njorðr governs the winds, especially those favorable to travel, and presides over seafaring, trade, and a form of fertility rooted in prosperity and growth. Sailors would invoke him before setting out on voyages. Merchants honored him for successful exchanges, and coastal communities revered him for calm seas and plentiful harvests from the waters. His influence is less about force and more about favorable conditions, ensuring that movement, exchange, and life itself can proceed smoothly. Njorðr's story deeply intertwined with the ancient conflict known as the Asir-Vanir War, a primordial clash between two divine factions. The Asir represent war, order, and sovereignty, while the Vanir embody fertility, nature, and wealth. After a prolonged struggle, the two sides reached peace and sealed their truce through an exchange of hostages. Njorðr was sent to live among the Asir, where he became a living bridge between these opposing forces, uniting the structured authority of the Asir with the flowing abundance of the Vanir. He is also the patriarch of a powerful divine lineage. His children Freyr and Freya carry forward key aspects of his domain: prosperity, kingship, love, beauty, and sacred rites. In older traditions, Njorðr is said to have had these children with his own sister, reflecting cultural differences between the Vanir and the Asir, and highlighting the distinct customs that once separated these divine tribes. Perhaps the most well-known myth involving Njorðr is his marriage to Skadi. Skadi came to Asgard seeking vengeance for her father's death, and the gods offered her compensation. She could choose a husband, but only by looking at their feet. Mistaking Njorðr's feet for those of Baldur, she chose him. What followed was a union defined by incompatibility. Njorðr loved the sea and his home at Noatun, his ship enclosure, while Skadi belonged to the mountains of Thrymheimr. They attempted to compromise, spending 9 nights in each domain, but effort failed. Njorðr could not endure the cold and the howling wolves of the mountains, while Skadi could not tolerate the cries of seagulls and the restless ocean. Their separation came to symbolize irreconcilable dualities: sea versus mountain, trade versus hunt, warmth versus cold. Njorðr's home, Noatun, represents more than a physical place. It is a symbol of maritime power, commerce, and movement between realms. His domain is not static. It is defined by flow of wind, water, wealth, and exchange. He governs the systems that allow resources to circulate rather than stagnate. In Norse society, wealth was not measured by hoarding, but by movement and connection, and Njorðr embodies this principle fully. On a deeper symbolic level, Njorðr represents the law of flow. Prosperity, like the tides, must move, ebb, and return to remain alive. He also embodies the harmonization of opposites, standing between Asir and Vanir, sea and land, peace and power. Rather than eliminating these differences, he mediates them, allowing balance to emerge. His presence also reflects environmental alignment. Success comes not from brute force, but from working with natural forces, choosing favorable winds over resistance. Viewed inwardly, Njorðr can be viewed as an archetype within the self. The sea reflects the subconscious and emotional depth. The wind represents intuition and unseen guidance, and wealth symbolizes alignment with natural flow. He is the aspect of awareness that knows when to act, when to wait, and how to attract prosperity through rhythm rather than force. Within a structured or systemic framework, Njorðr could be seen as governing the principles of flow and provision, overseeing trade, exchange, and the distribution of resources. His role aligns with the idea that vitality comes through circulation. That which flows remains alive, that which stagnates begins to decay. In this sense, he becomes a guardian of right timing, fair exchange, and balanced prosperity. Though less overtly dramatic than figures like Thor or as complex as Odin, Njorðr's role is foundational. He governs the conditions that make all other activity possible: calm seas, favorable winds, and the steady movement of goods and resources. Without him, ships do not sail. trade does not move, and wealth does not circulate.